What's going on, people? It is Monday, November 20th, 2023. Just documenting our journey to financial freedom. This video is just brain dump of current events that we're going through, what's going on, what's working, what's not working, where I'm at, fitness stuff, all that. So in a nutshell, I've come to the realization that I've stopped giving a flying fuck about what other people think of me, because I don't think of them. So it's more important to do things that you like, because we're all gonna die one day, and it is pointless to stay in bed at night thinking about what everyone thinks of you, because they're not gonna go in your grave when you pass. So that being said, I'm gonna post what I want about what topics I want, and it might hurt some feelings, and that's cool, but currently, I am just getting really back into the swing of fitness and really prioritizing certain things that are important for me. One of the biggest things that is important to me is my family and my fitness and finances. So my family is my wife and daughter. I have immediate family, and I love them to death. I do think that a lot of the decisions that I make nowadays are for the betterment of my personal family, and with that comes some harsh conversations, throughout the life where, for example, last year we moved to a state where no one else was nearby, and that caused some conflict or ruffled some feathers, which is rightfully so, because it's a hard decision for a lot of people, especially when you live nearby family. It's kind of a complicated conversation, but I think if there's one thing that I wanted to do is finally be able to spread my wings. And it's cool when you raise your kids to a point where they feel comfortable making big decisions, and one of them being moving out of the state to another city. So that was a big time decision. But transferring over more to the just day-to-day stuff, a lot of my decisions now, it's ever since I've had my wife and I had our first daughter, life has been a lot more challenging to just find time in the day to do things, and it's only going to get more complicated, God willing, in the future when we have a second kid. If God allows that to happen, then so be it. But it's been challenging to just find time throughout the day to take time for myself or for us. And we'll take whatever we can get from a daily standpoint. But like, for example, I can't just go to the park and just go on a walk solo and just think for a couple hours. I guess I could technically do that with my daughter in daycare, but it's if it's the weekend and I want to go somewhere, but my wife wants to stay home, or my wife wants to go to the mall, and I want to go clear my head, it's not so easy to just not take our daughter into consideration. So it's a little challenging now with everything. So fitness has become a little bit of a thing that I'm trying to navigate more, and it's been harder than I thought, just because I've gotten so damn lazy with my fitness. So I'm trying to find like the Pareto principle workout style, which is like an 80-20 rule, where I can at least maintain or build a little bit of, or grow a little bit with minimal time investment. And that's been a slap in the face in terms of what I thought I would get myself into versus what's happened. So rightfully so, I feel like the more time you put into the gym, the more you get out of it. But it's hard to really make considerable progress when you're only putting in 10-15 minutes a day. So my workout nowadays consists of strictly calisthenics, or maybe a slight blend of weights. But a lot of times, the last time I made a video on my fitness, it was like 25 pull-ups, 25 dips, 50 push-ups, 30-second L-sits, and 5 handstand push-ups. I definitely think that's a good fitness program, and I'll play around with that as I go. But today, for example, what I did was 25 or 15 pull-ups, 5 chin-ups, and then 5 more chin-ups, and each rep is a good clean form rep. And then I did 25, what are they called, typewriter push-ups, so rotating on each side, sort of opening up your chest, and then 25 diamond push-ups, 25 wide grip push-ups, and then I finished with 25 standard push-ups, so 100 total there. I was thinking a little bit about the push-ups and dips, and it's like kind of doing the same exact muscle group, especially when I do variation push-ups. So I just did those, and then put that in as my dip exercise as well, in form of the muscles worked. And I went on to 5 reps of 10-second dragon flags, I believe is the word. So it's like you lay on your back, and then you lift your legs up to the sky, and then you slowly lower them down. So I actually really like that. It's a good core exercise. And then I did 30 seconds of a kettlebell squat hold. I'm just making up. I'm quite literally every day is like a new day in terms of what kind of random ass exercise I can come up with, because my goal is at least to get some kind of leg exercise in, and whatever. So that's kind of where I'm at with my fitness journey, and it's not really anything crazy, but the one thing that I am excited to see progress on, I've always made considerable improvements in my fitness life when I do intermittent fasting, because you can burn the shit out of some calories in the gym, but if you eat it all back later that day, you're basically not making any progress, period. So one of the things that I really like about intermittent fasting, while it's not the most fun to do some days because you're going to be freaking hungry out of your mind later in the day or in the morning or whatever, is that it gives you like very strict guidelines or very strict parameters in which you can eat or not eat food. And I like that, because if I don't keep myself to a program or some kind of schedule or some kind of discipline to follow, it's very hard for me to stick to it. Because, for example, yesterday, maybe a couple of days ago, it'd be like 10 o'clock at night, and I go to get some water from the fridge, or I fill up my water, and then I'll just open the fridge and I'll grab an apple and I'll just eat it. And it's not, nobody's gonna get big overnight from eating an apple, but it's just little things like that throughout the day is what puts me at maybe 500 or 1,000 calories over my total caloric intake of what I need to do to maintain. So I'm essentially in a surplus. So just gradually over the past couple months, I've just been chipping away and eating a little bit more than I should, whether it's in the morning, throughout the day, or at night, and just it adds up. So I've gained probably maybe 3 pounds over the course of a month or 2 months, and it's not like anything crazy, but you look at that from 2 years or 3 years, ever since I've graduated college, I've probably put on maybe 5 to 10 pounds. My playing weight was close to, I believe it was close to 195. It was either 190 to 195. When I first started in college, I was 185, and then I kind of gradually increased, and I think my heaviest I ever was in college was 200, and it wasn't, I still felt strong and athletic, and then I graduated. I remember one time I got up to 210 outside of my playing days, and that was pretty wild. I don't think I've ever broken past that, but I think back to all the times I did intermittent fasting, and in one of those stints, I did it for maybe 6 months. I was very disciplined. I got down to like 173, and I was, I think, 4% body fat. It wasn't necessarily the healthiest because I was definitely a little too extreme. I would track every single calorie that went into my body. I was on top of my shit is basically the easiest way to say it. But all I'm trying to get at is I'm going to get back into being a lot more disciplined with my food. And I post this stuff because I want to be held accountable for my days, right? So intermittent fasting and also tracking my calories to keep myself on track of my shit is what I want to do. So a lot of other things that'll come from that, but it's going to be nice because if I can just stay disciplined in one area, that'll bleed over into other areas and everything sort of falls together. So I think a lot of really good things come from just simply staying disciplined with my eating, right? And then everything else sort of forms around that in terms of, I'll be more disciplined with my workouts, and I'll be more disciplined with simple work tasks, or reading more often. Who knows, right? But I post these videos because I want to share the raw, authentic side of reaching a better life financially, specifically financial freedom, both for myself, my future family, but also other people that are in a similar spot or maybe want a different perspective. Because I know one day that a lot of people will watch these videos, and it'll, I'll be doing quite well as far as the following is concerned. And that's going to be interesting. Even if I have, 50 followers in the future, then I would consider that a success, because I want to impact people, and I want these videos to be built in a way that is not this polished version of what you see now. And I think this is the type of content that I want to make, and I hope it resonates with others. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this, and hopefully you got something out of it. Let me know what your workouts are, how you structure your eating plans, how your work-life balance is, all that fun stuff. I'm definitely curious to hear. But thank you so much. God bless. Stay tuned.